Hey guys, it's YOU WACK, and a couple of days ago, Blizzard released not only their brand new deathmatch map, Kanazaka, but they also released a developer update that's leading a lot of people in the Overwatch community to believe that there's going to be a brand new Fox-like hero in Overwatch 2. Now on the surface, it might just seem like a new free-for-all map, and on the surface, it might just seem like another update from one of our favorite father figures, Jeff Kaplan, but if you really pay attention to what he's focusing on and kind of hinting at when it comes to this map, it's kind of front and center like, hey, there's gonna be a new figurehead in the Overwatch hero roster. Throughout the developer update, he's saying things like contextual storytelling and Easter eggs and payoffs in Overwatch 2.
It's not just some random setting. There's a lot of contextual storytelling we're doing in this free-for-all map, with some Easter eggs and some payoff that's going to come in Overwatch 2.
And looking throughout Kanazaka, we see those various Easter eggs. Hanamura's Tower is something that you can't miss, that you can see in the distance. The Cat Cafe has a bunch of drawings of the actual Overwatch team's cats, but also there's this huge animated billboard of this hero called Brit, which a lot of people might confuse to be the next hero, but if you pay attention to Overwatch's history, this was a concept hero a long time ago, and if you look at the description of this hero, you can see that it says attack mech and defense mech, and I'm guessing that this was a very early concept of what led to be possibly Hammond, because Hammond has an attack and defense mode. So I don't think Brit is gonna be the next hero, but rather a Fox hero that we see constantly throughout this Japanese map. Jeff pointed out that you really want to focus on the graffiti, and that's just such like a random thing to point out because there's so many various other things that you can point out on the map, but Jeff Kaplan wanted us to really focus on this graffiti where the prominent figure in this graffiti art is a Fox figure. The other thing is this monster-like foot, which, I mean, yeah, that could be it, but if you look at the other contextual lore hints throughout the map, the Fox seems more prominent because there's obviously the graffiti with the Fox figure, but then there's also this faction-like logo that takes the form of a Fox head, and then the most obvious thing are the two foxes that guards this bridge leading up to the middle or relatively center of the map, Kanazaka. So you wouldn't be dumb to assume that a Fox is somehow going to be related to the next hero in Overwatch, but what I'm going to be guessing is that the Fox isn't necessarily gonna be the hero itself, rather than be the sidekick of the brand new female ninja hero in Overwatch. Let me explain why a female ninja could possibly be a brand new Overwatch hero. About a year ago, Game Informer released this article of this hero that they saw a silhouette of whenever they visited Blizzard last year, and they described this hero as a female hero with short hair that wielded the shuriken with 4 pointy sides, similar to Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII. I never played Final Fantasy VII, so I'm sorry if I butchered that, but they also had a Fennec-like Fox at their side, almost as if it was a partner, similar to like Bob and Ash. Now, obviously, Game Informer is a trusted news outlet. They're not some random bozo on Twitter that says, we have insider information at Blizzard saying that there's gonna be a new Fox here. No, basically, if they're making an article of a possible new hero, of it possibly relating to a Fox, and then a brand new Japanese map with a ton of Fox-like figures seen throughout the map, it's safe to assume, really safe to assume, that the brand new hero is somehow going to be related to a Fox. But this is when it gets really juicy when it comes to the lore of Hanzo and Genji. Jeff Kaplan also stated in the developer update that this map is going to further expand the lore of our two favorite Shimada brothers, Genji and Hanzo. But this is where we can really speculate on how the possible new female ninja could tie into not only Genji and Hanzo, but also the Overwatch lore story as it stands right now. The story that stands right now is that Genji is still banned from the Shimada clan, where Hanzo still reigns supreme. As shown in the cinematic, that's why Genji is not allowed to visit Hanamura because, well, he's banished. And we all know the story that Genji somehow found his way to Zenyatta to train, but more importantly, accept himself. But what if I were to tell you that there was a possible detour in between Genji finding Zenyatta and getting banned from the Shimada clan? This is where Genji finds the brand new Fox faction. The story that I'm projecting really takes the style of classic royalty or medieval times where someone literally gets thrown out of the city where big walls and barriers prevent you from going back in, and you have to rot away with all the other rejects or all the other banished people that couldn't perform well for the empire. And in this case, this Fox faction were the castaways, or the peasants, if you will. And because Genji is built up with anger because because not only did he get completely yeeted out by his own brother and his own family, but he seeks revenge. But how does this tie in with the female ninja? This is where I can get extremely out of pocket and assume that this female ninja is also a banished sister ninja from the Shimada clan. This female ninja is quite possibly Genji's and Hanzo's sister. And while that might seem like a total conspiracy theory, it kind of makes sense with how Japanese and just overall Asian culture functions. While this is a bit trashy that this is still the reality, females aren't seen as valuable as males because males are seen as the true leaders of the Japanese mainland. So when the Shimada family had a daughter, and this is kind of sad, but this is what makes a juicy revenge story for not only the female ninja, but also Genji. They casted away the female ninja daughter just like how they casted away Genji, and then they form an alliance to get back at the Shimada clan. And the story seems a little bit more valid once you hear the voice line of Genji whenever he's on Attack Hanamura, of how he spent a lot of time with people that he probably shouldn't have gotten mixed up with when he was at the arcades whenever he did get banished.
I passed many an hour of my misspent youth here.
Well, those people that he shouldn't have gotten mixed up with were the Fox faction people and their leader, this female ninja, possibly his sister. But I'm making this assumption that this Fox faction is evil. They could possibly be a good organization, similar like how Blackwatch is. But the reason why they're not a good organization is if you look at the Fox itself in Japanese folklore. And the way that we can look at it even better is if we look at Animal Crossing. Wait, what? How does Animal Crossing relate to Overwatch, Brit? Well, it doesn't necessarily relate to Overwatch, but can tell the story better of what the fox represents to Japanese culture. Because do you remember the character Crazy Red, that con artist Fox that sells bootleg art to you? A lot of people assume that Tom Nook is the evil one, but it's really Crazy Red that is the evil one because he's this con artist fox that is selling you fake art pieces at an inflated price. And it's all because his species is a kitsune, which is supposed to take this figure of someone who's supposed to scam, cheat, and weasel a lot of people out of money. And that's the same kind of mindset that this new Fox faction could possibly have. An organization that's gonna lie, cheat, and steal from people. And since Genji just got banished from the clan, he has resentment, he has anger, and he wants his revenge. He wants to seek vengeance from what was rightfully his family, his clan, and his city. It's basically a gang that welcomes Genji with open arms because they see him as a valuable asset. I mean, a Shimada brother with Shimada training, you just can't get that anywhere else. And he runs with them for a couple of years, but I'm assuming that he figures out that these aren't the people that he wants to be associated with, and so he ditches his gang in search of peace and contentment, and he finds it with Zenyatta, and that's when he becomes the cyborg ninja that we all know and love today. But hey, that's just a theory, a game theory that I so hope is true, because does that not sound like the perfect Overwatch story? Tell me that does not. A secret Shimada sister that was banished long before Genji was banished, that helped ties the story of how Genji meets the Overwatch crew, but also ties into the Shimada clan? Come on now, that is so cool. But that's just my thoughts on this brand new map that ties into Hanamura, the Shimada clan, and possibly the backstory of how Genji went from being evil to good. But let me know what you guys think. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.